Good evening. My name is 𝐲𝐤𝐬, and I am the president of the Board of Directors for the Disability Law Center of Virginia. Thank you all for joining us this evening for the dLCV Impact Award. We are excited to take some time to recognize and celebrate the work and effort of some amazing individuals and nonprofits throughout Virginia who were able to make significant impact in the lives of Virginians with disabilities in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. On behalf of the board of dLCV, I'd like to thank the dLCV staff and volunteers who have made this evening possible, as well as those of you who responded to our call for nomination. Tonight would not be possible without you. And for all of our nominees who are present today, thank you for your dedication and service. And to everyone who is joining us virtually, welcome. We hope you enjoy the celebration. And now it's my pleasure to turn things over to our MC for the evening, Colleen Miller.
Thanks so much, Carrie. I want to wish everybody a good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Colleen Miller. I'm the Executive Director of the Disability Law Center of Virginia. On behalf of everybody here, our volunteers, our interns, and our staff, we offer you our heartiest congratulations to all of the nominations. And we also welcome you, our virtual audience members, both near and far. So, you know, when this awful pandemic began and when the governor announced the statewide shutdown, the Disability Law Center really had to do a serious pivot. We needed to find a new way to make sure that we were able to serve and support people with disabilities all over Virginia. As you probably know, we have a very strong focus on systems advocacy, on systems change.
Excuse me, Colleen.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but we need to be able to see your beautiful face. And unfortunately, your camera, there you go. All right. We're good now.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, I don't know where I was, but we at the Disability Law Center of Virginia, we have a strong focus on making systems change while still trying to serve individuals, while doing individual cases and individual assistance. This made for some really interesting challenges for us as we adapted to remote monitoring, electronic communications with our clients, virtual hearings. It was really a strange new world for all of us, just like it was for you. It was a hard year, but we were able to make some important impact, we think, on the lives of people with disabilities. I invite you to check out our 2020 annual report that's on our website at dlcv.org/annual-report. So I hope you'll check that out. There's a link for it on the screen for you. So all the time that we were doing our virtual pivot, it made us wonder, what kind of unique and innovative impacts have our advocacy partners been able to accomplish? What have our friends have been doing during this pandemic? And how can we bring more awareness and attention to those achievements? So that inspired us to create and host for the very first time the Disability Impact Awards. I hope you've been checking out our social media page, our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn over the last few weeks. And I hope you've been enjoying reading the highlights about each of the nominees. As much as I've been enjoying reading about them. So tonight we have 8 regions worth of nominees to cover. We have statewide nominees. We're going to have a total of 9 winners to announce tonight. If you're joining us via Zoom, please feel free to use the chat box to offer kudos and encouragement to the nominees that you are supporting. If you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, leave comments there. We plan to pass along all of your encouraging words to each of the nominees after the event is over. Now, before I get started, I want to thank the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services for sponsoring this virtual event. The live sign language interpreter that you get to see, the award trophies, this Zoom webinar. They're all brought to you thanks to the generosity of the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services. Thank you. All right, now let's kick off the part we've all been waiting for. Here's one of dLCV's most skilled advocates, Elizabeth Horn. Take it away, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Colleen. And good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Horn, and I'm a senior disability rights advocate with dLCV. It's my extreme pleasure this evening to introduce you to the nominees for the Multi-Region Disability Impact Award. Starting with Community Brain Injury Services, otherwise known as CBIS. CBIS operates programs both in the Richmond and Hampton Roads area, serving individuals who have sustained a brain injury. CBIS went from fully in-person services to a complete virtual format, then shifting quickly again to a hybrid in-person virtual format to continue to respond to the changes in both the pandemic and the needs of their clients and members. Additionally, as one of the first brain injury providers in Virginia to reopen their physical services last summer, CBIS staff overcame their own personal anxiety and fear with reopening to create an environment at their clubhouses that was safe for their members to return. This included a complete re-imaging and imagining of their space and in-person service delivery model to allow for physical distancing to again meet the needs of their 300 plus clients. They also mobilized their staff to become first responders to their clients, delivering food and medications. And as soon as vaccines became available, they set up 2 clinics at one of their clubhouses to make it easier for their Richmond and Hampton Roads clients and members to navigate the vaccine process. The next nominee is the assistive technology team of Susan Reed and Margaret Hess at the Piedmont Regional Education Program, or PREP. This dynamic duo adapted quickly when COVID resulted in school closures for all of their school divisions they covered, spanning 9 localities. They provided training for other PREP staff, such as occupational therapists, physical therapists, vision teachers, and autism specialists, all of whom had to learn how to adapt to online therapy using modified teaching tools and methods. Susan and Margaret also created top-rate videos and other instructional tools that can continue to be used and were used by these teachers, students, parents, and other staff. Their work has literally impacted hundreds of students, teachers, and families in the divisions in which they officially serve and beyond. Both nominees are excellent examples of the criteria for this award, which we considered adaptation, innovation, perseverance, and excellence. So congratulations to both nominees. And now, the 2020 Multi-Region Disability Impact Award goes to Community Brain Injury Services, or CBIS. Jason Young, Executive Director of CBIS, is in attendance this evening to represent this wonderful organization, and we'll now hear from Jason as he accepts the award on behalf of CBIS.
Elizabeth, thank you so much, and thank you to the Disability Law Center of Virginia for this wonderful award and recognition of our agency's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Elizabeth, as you said, we're the designated safety provider for an 18 locality service area that encompasses Metro Richmond and the Virginia Peninsula. And we knew that when COVID hit, that our service population, individuals with brain injury, was a particularly vulnerable group for COVID, and that we would have to step up to meet this challenge. One of the very reasons that services like ours exist is to break the social isolation that's so commonplace after disability. Concept I think we're all now much more familiar with due to COVID, that prolonged social isolation has an array of debilitating mental health impacts for so many. And that is what drove us to make sure that we could get our in-person services reopen and functioning as quickly as possible, while at the same time providing virtual services so we could serve our clients in both capacities in the format that they felt safest and most supported. I wanted to accept this award on behalf of our entire staff team here at Community Brain Injury Services. For our staff team, this past year has been hard, it's been stressful, it's required constant dedication to our safety protocols, all the while knowing that they didn't have the luxury to stay home and work virtually because of the important work that we do here at Community Brain Injury Services. And our staff rose to this challenge, and they went above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that our community was protected and served. And this award is such validation of their work. And lastly, I just want to thank the Disability Law Center of Virginia for putting on this event tonight to recognize the hard work and efforts of individuals and organizations who similarly rose to the challenge that COVID presented our community this past year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason. It's been such an honor working with you, and congratulations to CBIS and all of the many clubhouse staff and case managers at both of your locations for going above and beyond to meet your clients' needs during the pandemic. And now I'll turn things over to the presenter for the next Disability Impact Award announcement, to Dawn Groyce. Dawn?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Dawn Groyce, and I'm a volunteer with the Disability Law Center of Virginia. As a former teacher, I'm thrilled to be able to introduce the winner of the Disability Impact Award for Southern Virginia. And that winner is the Virginia Council for Learning Disabilities. This council, shortened to VCLD, promotes evidence-based teaching, collaboration, research, leadership, and advocacy within the Commonwealth. When VCLD's annual symposium had to be canceled in April of last year due to the COVID epidemic, they instead collaborated with the Virginia Council for Exceptional Children on a series of 4 90-minute webinars that included 700 attendees. VCLD also went on to form the Virginia Joint Coalition of Learning Disabilities and Literacy in order to broaden the scope of educational professional development and provide literacy training and resources to teachers of students with disabilities. While VCLD serves multiple regions throughout Virginia, ultimately we wanted to be able to highlight and recognize this organization as a resource that parents and teachers can turn to for additional resources to assist students with learning disabilities in the Southern region. The Southern region in Virginia is an often overlooked part of the state, and when it comes to resources and services in the best of times, and perhaps even more so over the course of this pandemic. So, for finding innovative ways to continue to support the education of students with learning disabilities in the Southern region of Virginia, dLCV is proud to present the Disability Impact Award to VCLD, or Virginia Council for Learning Disabilities. Mindy Gumpert, who is the Executive Board President, is present this evening to accept this award on behalf of VCLD. So, Mindy?
Yes, I'm got it. Thank you. It unnerved me a little bit that I couldn't see anybody when the Zoom started. It was a little unusual. So thank you so much, Dawn, for that great introduction. And thank you to the Disability Law Center of Virginia for this tremendous honor. I'm just so excited. So this was the happiest day, the happiest thing I've gotten in the mail in a very long time. So thank you. Your program enlightened me on all of the different organizations throughout the state that advocate for people with disabilities. I had no idea what an amazing group of people. I feel like I have really gotten to know them over the last, 14, 15 days. And it's been amazing. It was such a brilliant idea to highlight those nominees so we could kind of get to know each other and be inspired by each other. So I really love the way that you put this program together. And thank you for letting us be a part of it. I'd like to acknowledge my VCLD board members who were instrumental in planning and implementing the webinars and our symposiums during COVID. So we have Clara Houth, Jared Hobson, 𝐲𝐢𝐬𝐀𝐛𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐭𝐲, Brenda Tyler, Danny Bronaugh, Lynette Sanders, and Judith Fontana. So this award is not just for me, it's for all of us together. I also need to give a shout out to my friends and colleagues at the Virginia Council for Exceptional Children, Mike Solomon and Jared Hobson. They were instrumental in helping us create and actually pull off the webinars because they're very tech savvy. So we love Virginia CEC. Thanks to Mike and Jared. So we as an organization will continue with our mission to promote leadership and advocacy within the Commonwealth to enhance the quality of education for students with learning disabilities and learning differences. Through our webinars and our symposiums, we will continue to provide quality professional development for teachers. We've all been there. We've all board members have been teachers in the classroom, so we know what it's like. And we want to help them become better teachers of students with disabilities. So we are going to continue that fight. And this award lets us know that we're making a difference. So I thank you so very much. It's such an honor. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mindy, and congratulations to the Virginia Council for Learning Disabilities. And now Sierra Willis will present the next set of nominees and announce the next region's winner. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Sierra Willis, and I am a member of the dLCV's Resource Development Committee. It's my pleasure to be able to present to you this evening the nominees for the Disability Impact Award for the Central Region of Virginia. There was a total of 6 fantastic nominees, and those nominees are Leslie Mehta with Pretty Brooke, inspired by her daughter Brooke's diagnosis of Rett syndrome. Leslie founded Pretty Brooke and has a dedicated YouTube channel where she consistently provides content even during the pandemic to ensure that other parents of children with Rett syndrome continue to have access to information and resources that they need. Unfortunately, earlier this year, Leslie's daughter Brooke passed away. Our hearts go out to Leslie and her family. We offer our condolences for the loss of Brooke. At this time, I ask for everyone watching to please observe a moment of silence in memory of Brooke Mehta. All right, thank you everyone, and thank you Leslie for your continued advocacy. The next nominee is Angela Warnes with Resources for Independent Living. To sum up Angela's nomination, we think it's best to quote the words of her nominator. Angela goes above and beyond, and she provides support in every aspect. Throughout the pandemic, Angela has not slowed down in supporting her clients, regardless of physical distancing measures or the lockdown of 2020. Angela continued to find ways to ensure her clients were not isolated and were connected to resources that they otherwise may not have been able to obtain on their own due to COVID. The next one is Jeffrey Fife with the Virginia Department of Corrections as the Institutional Safety Specialist at State Farm Correctional Complex. Jerry assures the safety of well-being of the inmates and staff. While working with the inmates with disabilities has been a challenge in the prison setting, Jerry has found this work to be rewarding when he can successfully accommodates the needs of inmates with disabilities. According to Jerry, the pandemic added a few more challenges, but limits are only limits if you allow them to be obstacles. These are indeed the words that we can strive to live by. Alicia Amsler, Alicia's Day Spa / Salon and Runway to Life. Alicia has not allowed COVID to stop her. She has adapted quickly, and in many ways, she's adapted her salon business to make her elderly clients with disabilities feel special by providing accessible and COVID-safe services. Additionally, Alicia continued to dedicate time and resources to growing the nonprofit she founded, Runway to Life, to further awareness and support for mental illness in her community. And the next person is Adaptive Recreation of the City of Charlottesville Parks and Recreation. Within 2 weeks of the implementation of stayed to order. Adaptive Recreation pivoted to virtual programs by Zoom. They offered 900 hours of virtual programs, ranging from art classes, supper and lunch clubs, fitness, music, dance classes, games, summer camps, social hours, book clubs, cooking, movement, language, and so much more. Wow. They were able to provide over 800 programs totaling over 8,500 participants. ACET in College at VCU. VCU's ACET in College is an exclusive learning and training program for transitioning age adults with intellectual disabilities. At the start of the pandemic, ACET made sure that students continue to be supported in their academic and job settings. The speed which they adapted was impressive. As the pandemic continued, ACET found new and creative ways to support students. Some directly COVID-related examples included setting up appointments with students to explain vaccines and to help them book vaccine appointments. Help students apply for VCU's Co-Relief Fund, help virtual events for students with disability, for students and families for recreational and recruitment purposes, connected students with office supplies, and provided care packages to students. And now, without further ado, the disability impact for Central Virginia goes to Elisa Amsler. If Elisa is present, please, Elisa, are you present? Oh, there she goes. All right.
Yeah, so thank you. I got my award today, so thank you so much. And yes, this past year with COVID has been challenging, but it's also been, whenever we deal with challenges, it's where we learn how to do new things. From a business owner of 21 years, so we had to go out to some of the homes of elderly that could not come out, that needed, sometimes just the mental health of having their hair done can make someone's day just brighter. And then also, I also have a nonprofit, Runway to Life, and we help with mental health, suicide prevention, and we do teachings and trainings, also training hairdressers behind the chair if they see signs of people that might be struggling. And we were doing so much right before COVID, but we just had to restructure things from doing our groups and doing Zooms on groups, really helping so many people that have been struggling with a suicide prevention, suicide, and saving lives. So no matter if we're behind the screens on Zooms or we also did a class for, teaching for the disability. We had 38 blind people that we taught a class on suicide prevention and did it behind Zoom. So, we have learned how to do new things, different ways, but it's also a great way of reaching to people that we might not have reached to before. So even through a challenge, we can always come through these challenges. And I feel like that's what Virginia did is, learning new things and helping more people, especially with mental health right now. So thank you again for acknowledging us and the people that are in the community and allowing us to see exactly who is out there, because there's so many resources out there. Sometimes we just don't know who is out there and what is out there. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, the award selection committee was very appreciative of the efforts that you put forward, Alicia, as a private business owner, to take the extra step and precautions to ensure that your business was not only COVID safe, but also accessible and inclusive for people with disabilities. And then additionally, the selection committee was also impressed with your personal level of commitment to addressing the continued need for mental health in our community, with providing mental health resources, a need that certainly we need, especially during this COVID 2020 COVID lockdown. So thank you, Alicia, and congratulations again. The next to present will be Valerie Jones. Valerie, I think you're muted. Yep.
Thank you, Sierra.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're going to start this over again. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Valerie Jones, and I'm the Community Relations Specialist for the dLCV. I'm so very excited to be able to present the Hampton Roads Tidewater Regional Disability Impact Award to the YMCA at JT's Campground. With over 10 separately submitted nominations it was overwhelmingly clear that the YMCA at JT's Camp Grom would be a shoe-in for the Impact Award. In spite of the pandemic, the YMCA at JT's Camp Grom was able to serve those with disabilities by means of the 6-week summer camp hosted by their Through the Families of Autistic Children of Tidewater. JT Camp Grom's 14-acre campus, strict adherence to pandemic protocols such as health screenings, masks, use of outdoor space, and enthusiastic and experienced staff allowed them to host 6 weeks of up to 80 individuals on varying degrees of autism spectrum by facilitating things such as kayaking, swimming, climbing the Alpine Tower, sports, arts and craft, outdoor adventure time, and more. For innovatively continuing to find ways to provide a sense of normalcy and experimental learning for children with disabilities during the pandemic, we are proud to present the YMCA at JT's Camp Grom with the Hampton Roads Tidewater Regional Disability Impact Award. Congratulations, YMCA at JT's Camp Grom. We have Amanda Letterman here to accept the award on behalf of YMCA at JT Grom.
Thank you guys so much. We are just so excited to serve the differing ability community in Hampton Roads. The fact that we were able to keep our doors open during this time and just provide services and programming and inclusivity for this amazing group was just something that was really special to us. So we really give it back to the community and say thank you guys to them. So thank you guys so much. Very exciting.
Well, thank you. And once again, congratulations to you all. So now I would like to turn this over to Victoria Parrish, who will introduce the next region's nominees.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria Parrish, and I'm a volunteer with dLCV. Tonight, I'm happy to present to you the nominees for the Eastern Shore Region's Disability Impact Award. We had a total of 3 organization nominees for this region. Each organization showcased amazing tenacity and grit to serve people with disabilities in the Eastern Shore community. The nominees are No Limits Eastern Shore Brain Injury Services. During this pandemic, No Limits staff had gone above and beyond assisting with teaching consumers how to use technology and to set up hotspots and internet services. They provided services to a very rural locality which lacks quick internet services. So teaching consumers how to utilize Kindles and other devices was often very challenging, in addition to following COVID precautions for safety. However, these efforts allowed the participants of No Limit to continue receiving services, training, networking, and much support during a time when others could no longer make those connections. Our second nominee is Shore Delivery Corps, an amazing group of individuals who saw the need of their neighbors, and in about 3 weeks, volunteers and grant money came together to create Shore Delivery Corps, SDC, which was a free delivery system of groceries, medical supplies, prescriptions to high-risk individuals on the Eastern Shore. A call system was established that included volunteer drivers for van transportation, pickup, delivery, and volunteer dispatchers to receive phone call requests. Many community members with disabilities and high-risk individuals also benefited from Shore Delivery Corps services. There was even enough grant money to order toilet paper and paper towels to deliver free of charge when supplies were pretty much non-existent. Our next nominee is Eastern Shore Community Services Board Developmental Services. Eastern Shore Community Services Board has been working 24/7 to keep the IDD individuals here on the shore safe during this difficult time of change and schedule interruptions. When the governor's stay-at-home directive was issued and the day support facility closed, community engagement was halted and jobs lost. ESCSB was quick to respond, Staff worked together to ensure that individuals with disabilities served were able to continue to socialize with COVID-19 precautions in place. They obtained medical treatment and support, even when accompaniment to hospital settings was not allowed, and were empowered with the knowledge, supplies, and skill to keep individuals safe as much as possible from infections during this pandemic. 3 organizations full of dedicated and passionate disability service providers. We applaud the efforts of you all. To which organization will the award go to this time? The Eastern Shore Disability Impact Award goes to Shore Delivery Course. Congratulations. Patrick Cody will represent Shore Delivery Course. Patrick, would you like to say something?
We thank you for the honor of this award. It has been an amazing year for the Shore Delivery Corps. It started as a project proposed by one of our citizens who was looking for something for the suddenly idle high school and college students to do. And it mushroomed into a project totaling at one point somewhere on the order of 100 volunteers, including some 44 drivers and 24 people operating call center and dispatch. And the project served everyone over 65 or otherwise at high risk for COVID, which of course included a lot of our disability members on the Eastern Shore. And it continues to this day. And at this point, it primarily serves the disabled because many of our volunteers and many of our clients are now vaccinated and back at work or out in the community again and able to do their own shopping and prescription pickup. And the surprise item for us was that at the height of the shortage of toilet paper and paper towels, we were able to deliver something like 20,000 rolls of toilet paper to over 5,000 residents or locations on the Eastern Shore, and in particular help the group homes of operations like Community Services Board and our Women and Children's Shelter Abuse Center stay in paper products and keep their very limited staff from standing in long lines at grocery stores to try to pick up a limited supply of paper. So the project has been extremely successful for our community, and we are grateful for your acknowledgement.
Awesome. Congratulations again to Shore Delivery Corps. And now Harrison Baker will highlight the next set of nominees before announcing the winner. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Harrison Baker, and I'm a volunteer with dLCV. At this time, I'll be presenting nominees for the West Central region of Virginia, which is also the greater Roanoke Valley region of Virginia. There are 2 nominees from the region. One's an individual and one is an organization. However, they are both connected to each other, so everyone is a winner. The nominees are Jessica King, On Our Own of Roanoke Valley. Jessica King is a dedicated employee of On Our Own of the Roanoke Valley. She goes beyond her job description and is described as a very honest and caring person with an awesome temperament. As one of the many dedicated staff of On Our Own Roanoke Valley, Jessica has worked tirelessly to ensure that in spite of COVID, individuals with disabilities were able to participate in COVID-safe social events, support groups, and other mental health supports. The second nominee is On Our Own of Roanoke Valley. During the COVID-19 pandemic, On Our Own of Roanoke, Virginia has remained active by engaging in multiple daily Zoom meetings for members. On Our Own of Roanoke has also provided daily phone calls to members who have requested such calls and offered physically distant social events for holidays during the pandemic. Additionally, staff have remained available for members for one-on-one peer support with no more than a phone call to set up this service. Thus, On Our Own of Roanoke Valley provided consistent, high quality, much needed, and critical mental health supports for individuals with disabilities throughout the intensity of the COVID-19 pandemic. And now the West Central Region Disability Impact Award goes to On Our Own of Roanoke Valley. And Robin Hubert, Executive Director of On Our Own, is present and representing them, and we'll now hear from him.
Thank you so much. This has been a privilege to be in touch with our members who we normally see on a daily basis. We're open 7 days a week, all holidays. And I have a wonderful staff of folks that have lived experience with recovery. Everyone has been there, done that as far as having long-term recovery. And so we have been able to connect with everyone and not lose touch throughout this entire pandemic for 7 days a week. We're like the best kept secret in Roanoke. So hopefully more people will get to know us and get just, thank you so much for acknowledging us. And we love our members, and we're very grateful to be a part of this community.
Well, thank you, Robin, and thank you so much for your work, and congratulations to On Our Own of Roanoke Valley. Our next presenter for the evening is Diana Crosswhite.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Diana Crosswhite, and I serve on the dLCV board and chair the Resource Development Committee. As a native of Southwest region of Virginia, I'm very happy and honored to highlight the nominees and announce the winner for the Southwest region. There are 3 nominees, and they are as follows: Virginia Tech Autism Clinic and Center for Autism Research. At the onset of the pandemic, the clinic quickly transitioned from providing in-person services to telehealth. As a research center, they had to retrain staff, acquire appropriate equipment, and update HIPAA-compliant software to ensure that remote diagnostic assessments for autism spectrum disorder could continue to be done in a scientifically valid way. Despite technological obstacles, the clinic was able to successfully conduct additional assessments and therapy via telehealth. Our second nominee is the ADA team at Virginia Tech with Pamela Vickers and Gloria Hartley. Even with being down by one staff person on their team, Pamela and Gloria pushed ahead full force with first training themselves and then training employees across Virginia Tech University on COVID-19 reasonable accommodations under the ADA. They streamlined their processes, disseminated information, and answered hundreds of questions, made a video and covered COVID-19 accommodations, and served as a model for other universities regarding reasonable accommodations during COVID-19. Our third nominee is Elizabeth McLean. Elizabeth is a person with disabilities and also an instructor in the Department of Musicology and leader in the Virginia Tech Disability Alliance and Caucus. She has also been active in the University of Michigan's Disability Culture Group. These 2 groups foster disability pride, are constituted by disabled persons with faculty, staff, and students, and work toward disability justice and inclusion through activism and action. Elizabeth's work in both these communities since the start of the pandemic has built connection within the disability community. She has been the link to coordinate regular adaptive online gaming sessions to facilitate learning and interaction within the community. All 3 of our nominees highlight the spirit of this award, and yet in the end, only one can receive it. And the recipient of the Southwest Regional Disability Impact Award is Elizabeth McLean. Congratulations, Elizabeth, and we would like for you to say a few words if you wish.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone at the Disability Law Center of Virginia. It's also very nice to see so much happening at Virginia Tech being highlighted here. I was a student at Virginia Tech, and I feel like since coming back as faculty, there is a huge difference in the disabled presence in building disability pride. And kind of in keeping with that theme, the paradox of this pandemic, both for us here in Southwest Virginia, across the state, and nationally, was that first off, disabled people were often left behind. Like, we're here celebrating everyone who remembered disabled people, but in so many cases, we were treated as an almost acceptable loss. Folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities in congregate care were struggling to get access to vaccines. There's numerous examples. But at the same time, disabled people are the ones who actually held key wisdom and solutions for how to get through this pandemic. We know how to build care webs. We know how to survive in lockdown. We know how to foster community across distance, and we are excellent at creative problem solving. So for this particular project, I want to make sure that I thank Jeff Edelstein and also the Shapiro Design Lab at the University of Michigan for first using me as a bit of a test subject for their adaptive gaming program. And just before COVID hit, I mean, the weekend before spring break, where Virginia Tech did not come back physically in session, some representatives from disability culture at the University of Michigan came down to show the adaptive gaming setup that they had developed to everyone at Virginia Tech, especially the Disability Alliance and Caucus. But we also had community members from Southwest Virginia, the New River Valley, who were not necessarily part of the university. Once folks here at Virginia Tech got a taste of the possibility for adaptive gaming, Martina Swantek really headed up the initiative, and we were able to secure a grant from Virginia Tech's Student Budget Board to buy some physical equipment. But the problem was we can't use it. We still haven't been able to use the physical equipment because of the pandemic. So she got even more creative, and we were able to transition towards Jackbox games and other things online. So whether it was our online gaming, getting together for the Crip Camp Summer Virtual Experience, all of last summer that helped get us through, film screenings, the Disability Day of Mourning, being able to build this partnership from Virginia Tech to Michigan to UMass Amherst to Purdue, and a lot of folks kind of in between and all around. It was a year to really learn the strength, I think, of disabled folks in their community and the value of disabled lives. So I want to lastly thank Ashley Hsu, who is the best partner in crime for everything disability in this area. And just remind everyone that disabled people, we do have skills, we have wisdom, we have insight, and whenever possible, we need to be letting disabled people have power. We need to be letting disabled folks lead anything that affects them. And as we transition, hopefully, away from the pandemic, we need to maintain all of these accommodations. We need to maintain the virtual engagement, all of these wonderful systems that we're celebrating today, so that we can continue to move forward together. Everyone, we move together. Thanks.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and your words are so true. Again, I congratulate you on the award, and now I will turn it over to Abigail Fox.
Hi, my name is Abby Fox, and I'm a volunteer with dLCV. I am pleased to be able to present the award winner for the Shenandoah Valley Regional Disability Impact Award. The organization that was nominated and ultimately selected as winner for the Shenandoah Valley is an organization that also serves multiple regions of the state. The winner of the Shenandoah Valley Disability Impact Award is the Children's Assistive Technology Services, also known as CATS. CATS serves as a no-cost resource for children with disabilities who need adaptive equipment and whose families have limited resources. When COVID shut down everyone's typical day-to-day operations, the need for the equipment that CATS could make increased. Children were out of school and at home, outpatient therapy clinics were limited in their in-person appointments, and early intervention was limited to in-home visits. So the lack of access to the clinics and specialty services may have limited children from getting the support that they needed, but CATS came to fill that gap, Despite all the obstacles with COVID and changes in processes, CATS was able to serve 793 children, providing them with 1,011 pieces of adaptive equipment in 2020. The value of equipment that they made available is over $1.1 million. While CATS has primary locations in 3 regions of the state, CATS will serve any child from anywhere in Virginia. We are so grateful for the existence of resources like CATS for children with disabilities in regions like the Shenandoah Valley. John Naples, Executive Director, is with us this evening to represent CATS. John, would you care to say a few words? I don't know if I heard John. That might just be me and my bad technology skills. Sorry about that. But in any event, a huge congratulations to CATS and thank you. And I'd like to present our final presenter for this evening, Lydia English.
Lydia, can you hang on for 1 second? Was John just on mute that whole time, do you think? Or was he not able to come into the room?
Yeah, I don't see him as an attendee.
Okay, all right. Just didn't want to lose him just because he went on mute. Lydia, take it away.
Thank you. This is a wonderful event. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lydia English, and I am a disability advocate with dLCV. So tonight I have a great pleasure to introduce the nominees for the Northern Virginia Regional Disability Impact Award. And the nominees are the ARC of Northern Virginia. During the pandemic, the ARC of Northern Virginia has continued to provide critical case management, training, advocacy, and self-advocacy support for over 39,000 people with developmental disabilities throughout Northern Virginia. Independent Center of Northern Virginia, whose work during 2020 was wide-reaching, multifaceted, and responsive to the needs that people with disability had during the height of the pandemic. This work included providing virtual social opportunities to help prevent social isolation, providing virtual independent living, skills training, peer counseling, and workshops to prepare people with disabilities for employment post-COVID-19, in addition to managing stress. Amy Metaxa, I hope I said the right last name. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Amy was integral in establishing IEP-compliant distance learning programs for each of her 45 students at the Arc of London's Aurora School. She worked with her staff, parents, and students, and collaborated with school system representatives to ensure that the needs of her students were met with as little disruption as possible. During this extraordinary moment in time, Amy created a lasting model of which to be proud while navigating masterfully through COVID-19 closures and constraints. Rosalia Fajardo. Rosalia, who for more than 15 years has worked with the Hispanic undocumented families with kids with special education needs, knew that when the COVID pandemic started, it would impact the Hispanic community in the Northern Virginia region. Rosalia created a channel of information that could guarantee the provision of food for the most vulnerable families and children. Congratulations to each of the nominees. You all have done wonderful work for people with disabilities in Northern Virginia. Now, the Northern Virginia Regional Disability Impact Award goes to Rosalia Fajardo. Rosalia, congratulations.
my
So you have the floor. I am so proud and happy. Congratulations.
And I'm more than happy, and so I'm almost in tears. I'm Rosalia Fajardo, and I am from a lawyer, a refugee, an immigrant from Colombia. And I have been living in the Northern Virginia area for the last 25 years, serving the families of children with special educational needs. I had the honor to be mentored by, and I have to say, by 𝐲𝐢𝐬𝐀𝐀 and 𝐝𝐢𝐬𝐀𝐃 Takemoro, and long-standing friendship with Lydia, we has been together providing services and advice to families with disabilities. Ourselves have our kids with some kind of type of disabilities. And yes, during the pandemic, myself, I was battling with a temporary disability, not able to walk, but when the pandemic arrives, I know that I have to be serving the undocumented families, and especially the families whose children have special educational needs. And I established from home, from my dining room, literally a center of information, and by grants that I was awarded by Basir and LULAC, I was able to distribute, not by myself, but by my friends from the schools, the food and the giant food, sorry about the commercial, and Safeway cards to so many families who were starving because they didn't have access to the regular resources. And so honored, so humble to receive this award. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I am so pleased. Thank you, Rosalia, and congratulations again. And now, to conclude this event, some parting words from our director, Colleen.
Thanks so much, Lydia. Well, that was just amazing, wasn't it? That was really great. Hopefully after tonight's event, no matter where you are in Virginia, you know that there are passionate and dedicated advocates and providers who are going to go that extra mile for people with disabilities in your community. I really appreciate what Elizabeth said. We move together. We hope that tonight's event will inspire you to go that extra mile as well, through your time, your creative talents, or your treasure. If you'd like to make a donation to the Disability Law Center of Virginia in honor of any of these nominees or winners, you can do so at dlcv.org/donate. But also, we are always seeking passionate individuals who want to go that extra mile to work with us as volunteers. You had the chance to meet a few of those volunteers tonight. You can find out more about volunteering with us on our website, or send us an email at info@dlcv.org. Finally, several of the nominees this evening are running fundraisers of their own. So we encourage you to consider making a donation of your time, your talent, or your treasure to any of the organizations you had a chance to meet this evening. On behalf of everyone at the Disability Law Center of Virginia, thank you for tuning in to tonight's celebration. And congratulations once more to all the nominees, and especially to the winners. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of your evening.